Okay, so today's date is going to be 1/3/19. So our objective, here's what we're going to do today. We are going to rewrite circle equations in standard form. Okay. Okay, one of the things we have to do though is what is standard form. We talked about that yesterday. I'm going to write it down again today. So standard form of a circle is this: parentheses x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared. Okay, we learned this yesterday. That's the form we want to get everything into. Okay, this is useful because we know the center of a circle is at h, k, opposite of this number, Ben, put your phone away, and the radius is going to be the square root of r squared, or the square root of this number. Okay, so we really want it in this form because then it's useful. If it's not in this form, can't do much with it. So how do we do it? Well, we've got to go back to something we did before, completing the square. Okay, here's my standard form. Highlight that because I really want to make sure that is the most important thing. So here are the steps to complete the square. Step 1, okay, move C to the other side. Okay, I'm going to write all the steps down and then we'll do example 1. Okay, move C to the other side. Okay, step 2, we're going to put all x's together and y's together.
Why didn't you say x's and y's together?
Well, because they are. If I take a look at example y's, the x's and the y's are together. But that.
But now I have to write it twice.
Well, yeah, because see, I don't want x squared. I want x squared with the x, and I want the y squared with the y. But if I wrote x's and y's together, that's confusing to me because you'd say, Mr. Davies, aren't the x's and y's already together? They are. What I want to do is put the x's with the x's and the y's with the y's. Okay, and Lauren's going to put her phone away. Of course she is. Okay, step 3. We're going to take 1/2 of b and we're going to square it. We've done that before. We take half the number and we square it. But we're going to do that, believe it or not, we're going to do that twice. And the reason we're going to do it twice is because there's an x squared and there's a y squared, so we have to complete the square for both of them, okay? Okay, then after we do that, 4, we're going to factor. Twice. Oh, and I need to add something real quickly. We're going to balance. Balance is 1L to all bit. Balance the equation. Okay, so then after we factor, it's going to be in standard form. So, okay, what does all this mean? Let's do example 1. Okay, so step 1, we're going to move C to the other side. We'll put all the x's together and all the y's together. We'll take 1/2 of b squared twice, because we'll have an x squared and a y squared, and then we'll factor twice, and it will be in standard form. Okay, so check it out. Step 1. Okay, example 1, first thing I'm going to do is move C to the other side. Okay, I'm going to move the 16 over, okay? So we're going to have, okay, x squared, and I'll put the 8x with that, plus a y squared, plus a 4y equals 16. So I did step 1, step 2 together. Why not, right? I put the x's with the x's, I put the y's with the y's, and I brought the constant over, okay? Put the x's with the x's, put the y's with the y's, and I brought the constant. Now I left a little space here because we're going to fill the space with our 1/2 b squared. Remember how we did that? I left a little space here because we're going to fill our... So let's do it. So first of all, in the first example, b is -8, right? b is -8, so my little side work. What's half of -8?
-4.
Half of that is -4, and -4 squared is what?
16.
So we're going to add 16. So you took half of this and squared it. Half this -4 squared is 16. Boom, 16. Balance it. If I add 16 to one side, it's going to be off balance, so I better add 16 to this side. So your equation stays balanced, right? You can't just add 16 to one side, your balance is off, okay? Okay, let's do the same thing over here. Here's my b for my y. We're going to do this twice. So my b is 4. Half of 4, what's half of 4?
2.
And then 2 squared is
4.
right? So we add 4 here, plus 4. But again, got to balance it. So add 4 here. Okay, let me go back. Here's what I did. Let me go back. Here's what I did. I brought the 16 over, and I put the x's with the x's, and I put the y's with y's. Then I did my completed square. Half of that, squared, 16. Half of that, squared is 4, okay? Half 4 is 2, 2 squared is 4. Then I balanced, I added 16, I better add 16. I added 4, I better add 4, okay? Now, I can factor this. In fact, if I take a look, I'm going to factor twice. Multiples of 16, that adds up to -8. -4, right? You guys agree? So this is just going to be at x minus 4, x minus 4, right? Plus, I'm going to factor again. Multiples of 4 that add up to 4 are 2 and 2, right? So this is a y plus 2 and a y plus 2. Okay, so far so good. And if I add everything up over here, 16 plus 16 is 32, plus 4 is 36. Okay, thumbs up so far? Now, this can be rewritten. X minus 4, there's 2 of them, so I can rewrite this as an x minus 4 quantity squared plus y plus 2. So y plus 2 squared equals 36. Okay, how am I doing?
Great.
We're there. We can do this. Now, if we had to graph it, we could easily say the center is at 4, -2, right? And the radius is simply going to be the square root of 36, which is 6. Easy. From the original problem, you couldn't get that, could you? You had to make it into standard form. Thumbs up?
Yes.
Okay. All right, let's turn the page. Okay, example 2. So example 2 is the same type of problem, except for I just asked us to graph it. But we can't graph it until it's in standard form, right? So let's go through and do what we did before. Step 1, let's move the 6 over, and I'll put the x's with the x's and the y's with the y's, right? So, okay, I'm going to rewrite this as a x squared minus a 2x, leave a space, plus a y squared plus a 6y equals 6, okay? So, I put the x's with the x's, the y's with the y's, and I brought the constant over, okay? Now, let's do it. Half of 2 is 1, right? And 1 squared is 1. So we'll go plus 1, and we'll balance it, and we'll go plus 1. So half of that is, half of 2 is 1, 1 squared is 1, right? So put 1 there, but I got to balance it 1 there. Half of 6 is 3, 3 squared is 9, right? Plus 9, I got to balance it plus 9. Okay, it's pretty easy, isn't it? It's not that hard. Okay, so then I can factor that, and I can factor that trinomial. Multiples of 1, that's easy, 1 and 1, but how about -1, -1, right? -1, -1, so let's factor this into an x minus 1, x minus 1. Multiples of 9, how about 3 and 3? Because 3 and 3 makes 6, right? So let's rewrite this as a y plus 3, y plus 3, and if I add these over here, I get a 16. It's not too bad. Okay, I can rewrite this as a x minus 1 squared plus a y plus 3 squared equals 16, right? And if I'm going to graph it, let me go ahead and list and borrow Katie's paper. Thanks, Katie. First of all, I know my center is at 1, -3. I know my radius is the square root of 16, which is 4. Right? Now it's easy. It's easy. So let me get down my graph paper. I'm going to go to 1, -3. I've got a radius of 4, so I'll go out from the center. I'll go out 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll go back 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll go up 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Down 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'll just try and draw in the best circle I can. If it looks like a potato, I don't care. Right? How's that?
Good.
It's good. Okay, now here comes the hard problem, because you smart kids need a challenging problem every now and then, okay? But I'll wait for you. Okay, Bella, give me a thumbs up when you're caught up. Everybody caught up? All right, let's look at the next one. Nikolai, I know you're watching, okay? So, example 3. Solve the system. Well, I know this is a circle, center at 0, 0, and a radius of 1. So it would look something like this. Okay, that's a circle, center at 0, 0, radius 1. So it looks something like this. This is a line. It would have a slope of 1/2, and it would start at 1/2, and it would look something like this, okay? All right, what I need to do then to solve it is I need to find this point and this point, because they intersect in 2 points. You guys can see that? So how do I find those 2 points? Well, I'm going to go back and do a little bit of algebra. I'm going to do substitution, okay? I'm going to use substitution. And what I'm going to do is put my x plus 1 over 2 in for y. But I'm going to show that. I'm going to take this x plus 1 over 2 and plug it in for y, because I'm going to substitute. So to do that, Ben, put your phone away. I'm going to rewrite it side by side. X squared plus y squared equals 1. And my y equals my x plus 1 over 2. Okay? How am I doing? So I'm going to make a substitution. So what I'm going to do is take x plus 1 over 2. I'm going to plug it in for y, because it says y equals, right? So instead of writing y, let's replace it with y, what y is equal to. Okay, this is going to be a good problem. I like this one. So I'm going to go x squared plus, not y, but what y is equal to, which is going to be a x plus 1 over 2 squared, because it's y squared equals 1. Okay, so I made my substitution. Put x plus 1 over 2 in for y. Now, I'm going to have to simplify this because I'm going to solve for x, okay? So, I'm going to go slowly with this. This is the same thing as an x plus 1 squared over 4. Okay, over 4. I squared the 2. That's all I did. I'm going to FOIL x plus 1. I'm going to FOIL it like x plus 1, x plus 1. I'm going to FOIL this, and I can FOIL it in my head because we're smart. This becomes an x squared plus a 2x plus a 1. Okay? I just FOIL this in my head. X plus 1, x plus 1. Just did a little FOIL in my head because I'm smart. So are you. We can FOIL in our head. Right? We can FOIL this x plus 1, x plus 1, x squared plus 2x plus 1. Now, nobody likes fractions. Agreed? Nobody likes fractions. So what I'm going to do is get rid of the fraction here by multiplying everything out by 4. That's going to get rid of my fractions, and then it's so much easier to deal with without a fraction. Okay, so let's see what happens. Multiply by 4, I get a 4x squared. This 4 and this 4 would cancel, so I'd have an plus an x squared plus a 2x plus 1 equals 4. Okay. Now it looks like a mess, but I can solve this. I think I'm going to have to factor, but I'll let you catch up. I'm probably going to have to factor, but I'll wait for you. Okay. Ben, yeah, it is a hard problem. Can I help you? Want me to clarify? You guys want me to clarify anything?
It's just stupid.
It's hard, but it's a good problem. Yeah, Nikolai?
May I please have that paper?
Sure. Okay, now, what I'm going to do is this.
Wait, how is it not a plus 8x?
Plus 8x. Oh! So what happened is when you multiply this by this entire thing here, Ben, it's like the 4 is times this, and this 4 cancels that 4. Okay.
So nothing on the top is getting multiplied by 4?
It's 4 over 1, right? So this 4 goes here, and this 4 and this 4 cancel each other out.
Alright, yeah.
Okay, so how about a 5x squared? Do you agree with that? 5x squared?
Yeah.
plus 2x. Now watch this. Watch, Cody, you watching? I'm going to bring over the 4 because I know I'm going to have to factor. So I'll subtract the 4 and I'll get a negative 3 equals 0, okay? Now, I'm going to factor. It will factor 5x, x, 3, 1. I'm going to go positive, negative, and you can check. Remember my double smiley? You can check it. But I think I'll have a 5x and a negative 3, which makes the 2, okay? You guys agree with my double smiley? So one answer, if you solve, is 3/5, and the other is negative 1, okay? Now these are x values. So if I go back to my form, back to my problem, and I go back to my picture, I know that this point right here is negative 1 something. And this point is 3/5 something. Now what's the something? Well, the way I'm going to get the something is by substituting 3/5 up here for x, and I'll substitute negative 1 up here for x, and I'll get the corresponding y. I'm almost done, so let me do it. So to make this easy, 3/5 the same thing as 0.6. You okay with that? 3/5 0.6. Decimals are so much easier than fractions, right? Okay, so let me plug it in. So first of all, let's go y equals 0.6 plus 1 over 2, which is 1.6 over 2, which is 0.8. So one of my answers is this. One answer is 0.6, 0.8. Okay, that's one point of intersection. Because I plugged in 0.6 and I got a 0.8, so my first point is going to be at 3/5, 0.8. My second one, let's plug in negative 1. Y is equal to negative 1 plus 1 over 2. So I plug my negative 1 in for x. And that's just 0. You okay with that? That's just 0. So my other point of intersection is at negative 1, 0, which is that point there. Okay? Awesome, awesome, awesome problem, huh? How's that?
Awesome.
We need to be challenged every now and then.